Hi. In this video I'm going to introduce you to file output with class formatter. A formatter can be used to write formatted strings to a file. Formatter comes with a number of overloaded constructors. Here you can see one that takes a file name as an argument. This can also be a full path. And now the formatter is going to write the formatted output to that very file. If the file does not exist, a file gets created. If a file does exist, the file gets overwritten. Let's have a look at an example. In this video I want to build on the code we started in the introduction to Scanner. We took the data from planet text. We had one line for each of the planets with the name, distance to the sun, and then diameter of the planet. We used Scanner to read in the information, and then we printed out the information line by line. Let's switch back to our other view here. You can see we printed the information about our planets here. What I want to do now is the following. I want to modify this code. I want to add all the planet data in a list of planets and then write the information from my list to a CSV file, and we're going to use formatter to do that. So I'm going to create a list right here. It's a list of planet because we're dealing with planets. I call it planets. It's a new array list of planet. And now inside here we are adding it to our list. Let's just say planets add, and we are adding our new planet right here. Afterwards, when everything has been read in, we're going to use a for each loop to print out all the planets. I say for each planet P in my planets, system out print line P. Let's just run it, and what we have at this point is all the information printed, and now it's inside a array list. As a quick refresher of formatter, because using formatter for files is very analogous to using formatter for string, like string format, or using formatter for printing on a screen, like printf. I'm going to my planet Java file. I'm going to change my toString method so we have a formatted output here. As a matter of fact, to save us some time, I'm just going to copy paste it and explain what we're doing here. You can see we have now a string format that starts with a format string, and we have a %s because we have the information left aligned in a column of 10. We have once again a left aligned column for the distance with the AUs, and then we're also going to print the diameter at the very end. So let's go back to my formatter class, see how that affects our output. And this time the output is a nice column. So that's what formatted output can do for us. Here we use the formatting to have nice columns. Now I'm going to use the formatter to create a CSV file. CSV stands for comma separated value file. Different from my planet text that separates the values with a blank, it's going to separate the values with a comma. In addition, I want to do some formatting. I don't want to have my distance to the sun with multiple digits after my decimal point. I want to have it rounded to a single digit after my decimal point. So in my main method, I have my array list. I'm reading in the information from the file. I'm printing it out. Now I want to print my comma separated file. This is getting rather long. What I want to do now is I want to factor out some code in a private method. Eclipse allows me to do that. I just right click here. I say refactor extract method. I have to choose a file name. I just say read planet data. It created for me a method read planet data. We are passing in our planets, and all the reading is happening in my read planet data method. I'm going to run it. let's switch the view so we can see the output, and you can see it still works. So next thing I want to do is write planet data. This time as a CSV file. So I say write planet data as CSV to CSV. And I'm going to pass my planets. I'm also going to pass a file name. I call it planet CSV file. This method hasn't been declared yet, so I get a red wiggly line, and Eclipse offers to create the method stump for me. There we are. I'm going to change the parameter name. This should be called file name. Let me open up here. And at this point, I'm going to read my list line by line. I'm going to write it in my file specified right here. So I start by declaring a formatter. I say formatter. I call it writer is a new formatter, and I'm passing my file name, which really is a path. So I say file name. At this point, I get a red wiggly line. I roll over, and I have a choice to either add a throws declaration or to surround it with a try-catch block because it's an unhandled checked exception. So I want to have a try-catch block. Once again, I want to use my try with resource statement because that nicely takes care of the closing of my formatter. I'm going to change my message here. It should say system out print line, maybe printf, and I say file not found, and here I'm passing my file name. I'm going to read all the lines from my array list and use them to create my comma separated value file. For planet p in planets, writer format, and here I'm using the formatter to write the data for each planet in this comma separated way. The name, comma, the distance to the sun only with one digit after the decimal point, comma, and then the diameter and a new line. And here is my name and my distance and my diameter. So at this point, my write planet data to CSV file method is done. I'm only removing a few empty lines I no longer need, and I'm going to write a done message, system out print line done, so I can see something happening. There we go. Run. Look at my output. It says done. At this point, I'm checking in my folder, and here is my planet CSV file. I'm going to open it right here with a text editor, and you can see the data for my different planets separated by commas, and the distance to the sun is rounded to one digit after my decimal point.